Good morning, everyone. How are you? Good to see you guys this morning. I see a few of you have already joined, right? Mr. Banreddy is there, Nilabjo is there, Siddharth, Anushka, Khushi is there. Very good morning to all of you. We'll be continuing with chapter 7 today, and hopefully थोड़ा सा chapter 8 भी कर लेंगे because chapter 8 is also थोड़ा सा बड़ा. 7 तो बहुत बड़ा है. So we'll try to cover as much as we can in chapter 7 today, and then we quickly shoot to chapter 8 also. करेंगे try. आज chapter 8 में भी जा पाए, right? Hey Radhika, how are you? Hey Karthik, Janisha is there. I'm good, Janisha. How are you? Yes, Banreddy is so quick. Probably Banreddy. I hope you are brushing and like freshening up before the class. एकदम उठते ही phone मत use करो, right? But good that you're so punctual. I'm really happy to see that you're so punctual. What about others? Let's wait for some time. Ask your questions, any doubts, any thought, any feedback for me. The things that you want me to change or things you want me to add, right? Do tell me. Happy to hear your insights on what can be done better in these sessions. We still have, like, this is the third last, and the next two will be Tuesday and Thursday. 15th is the last session, so probably any feedback per se, that'd be really helpful. Super, Radhika, super, that's just super fine. Hey Gomati, how are you? Shabga is there. Super, good morning. Yes, I'm really happy on punctuality. Cool. Any questions and any doubts? If not, I will respect the time of people who have joined on time and we'll start the session, right? We will not waste more time waiting for others who are late. We'll start within next 30 seconds. Awesome, Gomati. Hey, Siddharth. We are at 90%. Absolutely, right? We have done almost 90% of the syllabus. It went like this, right? I also can't believe when we started, I was so nervous saying that, boss, how will I take 13 sessions, right? It is going to be so long, but time flies. Cool. Respecting the time of everyone who has joined at 7 a.m. or within 1 minute of 7 a.m., let us quickly start from here, right? We will not go back if anyone joins now and asks me a question. He said, "Wo miss ho gaya, hum late ho gaye." Probably go and watch the recorded. I'm going to respect the time of all those who have joined now, right? Cool. Hey Shiva, how are you? Hi Anuradha. Hey Shri Ram. Good. So let us quickly start with multi-divisional structure. But before I start with multi-divisional structure, who will tell me, please help me revise, what are we studying? What is this chapter about? And what was the last topic we studied? Please type that answer. Tell me what this chapter is about and what was the last topic we studied in the last session. Let me see who all were active. What is this chapter about? Chapter number 7. What is this chapter about? Plus, what topic did we cover in the last session? What was the topic of the last session? Let me know quickly. Type that answer very quickly on the chat box, and I'm reading all the chats. What was it? Organizational structure, and last was divisional structure. Super, Anushka. That is right. I want others to type in as well. Organizational structure, divisional structure. Organizational structure, we learned simple structure. Okay, we studied a few topics, but the last one was divisional structure, right? Chapter 7, organization and strategic leadership, right? We studied organizational structure till now and how it supports the strategy. Very important. How it supports the strategy is really important to understand, right? Cool. So basically, we were talking about organization structures. How is an organization structured from a functions perspective, from a divisions perspective? How are those things flowing down to the base level? So how from a corporate level to a functional level, the organization is structured? Is it based on functions, which is HR, finance, marketing, or does it have different divisions? Divisions can be based on what? Quick question again. Quick question for you again. Divisions. A company can divide its entire organizational structure into divisions based on what logics? There were 4 logics that we studied. Divisions can be created on what 4 logics? Quickly, tell me. Divisions can be created on what 4 logics we have studied in the last session? Let's write, Radhika. We have studied 3 structures till now: simple, functional, and divisional. Divisional ke under we studied 4 logics based on which a company can divide its divisions. What are those? What are those logics? Quickly. Area, product, customer, process. That is right. Absolutely. Geographical area, product, customer, process. Geographical area. Right, geographical area hai Pooja, how are you? Product, service, customer, process, customer, product, geographical area, and process. That is absolutely right. Super, super. Right, process, geographical area, product, customer, process. Right, division can be done on geographical product, customer, and process. Super, super. Now, we know a division can be divided into, like, based on a product. Let's say we took an example of pen, pencil, notebook, water bottle, or it can be divided on geographical area, North India, South India, East India, West India, to basis where they can divide and operate their business or strategize their business. They can even do on a process. They can even do on customers. The kids section, like if you go to a big bazaar or you go to a Reliance Trends, they have divided their business into customer base. Kids wear, women wear, men wear, right? So ground floor pe aapko women wear milega, first pe kids milega, second pe jaake men's wear milega. So they have divided, they have divisions based on customer. So they have divisions based on customer. That is a divisional structure, right? So everywhere you go, you will see every business has divided themselves into different divisions or functions. And this is what divisional structure we studied about. Super. Now, let us understand, which I'm good, right? So divisional structure has a second thing. Ab kya hota hai? Now think about this. When we're talking about divisions, okay, when we're talking about divisions, we are particularly not separating the business, okay? हम एक ही business को different divisions में बांट रहे हैं, okay? और I am a big company, right? मेरे पास पेन है, पेपर है, water bottle है, and notebook है. I am not dividing my business. I'm not operating them as a separate business. I am keeping them as divisions only. Okay, I am keeping them as divisions only. Now the problem with that is the central. Okay, now think about this. Let me draw it somewhere. Okay, let me use a plain place. Why can't I delete this? Yeah, here we go. Cool. Now, in divisional structure, हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं divisional structure की, ठीक है? जब divisional structure की बात कर रहे हैं, तो now think about this. The CEO is here, okay? This is the CEO. Now, they have, let's say, 3 divisions, okay? They have 3 divisions. They have kids wear, they have women wear, and they have men wear, ठीक है? अभी 3 divisions बना दिए इन्होंने. And they're operating. Each division will have their function. Finance होगा, marketing होगा, finance है, marketing है, XYZ. इसके भी functions हैं and इस division के भी functions हैं. This is what we understand. Super. समझ आ गया, सब clear है. But now the problem with this particular thing is final decision for each of these businesses. Who is taking? Tell me. The question for you is, in divisional structure, who is actually taking the final decisions, right? Sorry, Namta, you're late. I'm not going to repeat that. You will have to watch the recorded session. We have to respect time of people who have joined us, right? Now, the question for you is, in divisional structure, right? This is the structure on the screen. Who is taking the final decision in this structure related to all, चाहे kids हो, चाहे women हो, चाहे men हो, final decision किसके पास है? CEO. right? No, division in charge के पास नहीं, right? The problem with this structure is, the problem with the divisional structure is, final decision making power, final decision making की ताकत is with the CEO, with the head of the business. The final decision making power is with the head of the business. Okay, now division head के पास final part नहीं है. They are taking decisions for their division, but final decision making कि करना है या नहीं करना है is with the CEO. Divisional head will figure out what is to be done. They will think, they will strategize, they will create strategies, they will build their business. But the final decision part in a divisional structure rests with the CEO. This is a problem. Okay. Now, to solve this problem, in 19, I'll give you a background what happened. Okay. In 1960s, okay, अरे ये number नहीं बनता है तो इसमें this tool is एकदम लल्लू. Okay, so in 1960s what happened? In 1960s there was a recession, there was a lot of problem in US. Okay, in US markets there was a lot of problem. Now the businesses wanted to understand कि यार if certain like problem in the external environment, let's say kids wear में कुछ दिक्कत आती है, right? There is a new law or there is spending less from the women. So 1960s, I'm just giving you an example. There was some economic downturn in the US and the expenditure by women dropped. Okay, खर्चा done by women in the country dropped. तो उन्होंने बोला यार अब I have to figure out my women division is doing bad. My kids section is also slow. My men segment is almost flat. Okay. Now each division has to go and ask the CEO कि भाई क्या करें, right? And in companies which had a lot of products, right? Which had a lot of products, उनके लिए बहुत problem होती थी कि यार बार-बार we have to go and ask. It was a turmoil situation. It was chaos in the external market. The external factors were against the companies. So what they did was, so they figured out कि यार हर चीज जाके CEO से क्यों पूछूं मैं, right? हर चीज जाके CEO से मुझे क्यों पूछनी है? So what I'll do is, I should have my own decision making part. Okay, I should have my own decision making part. This is why it is a problem, Pooja. I'm coming to that. That is what I'm explaining. बार-बार जाके CEO से asking, sir कर ले, sir can I do this, sir can I do this, ma'am can I do this? It was becoming very time consuming. Okay, it was very time consuming. The business heads or the division heads were not happy, right? That we cannot take quick decisions. Decisions मुझे quick लेने हैं. I know my division better, so what should I do? Okay, in 1960s came the concept of multi-divisions. Okay, multi-divisional structure picture में आते हैं. Multi-divisional structure which is M form. Okay, which is M form structure. इसको बोलते हैं multi-divisional structure. Multi-divisional structure क्या करता है? Simple है. CEO की जगह नीचे सारे heads बना देता है. Okay. Now let us understand multi-divisional में क्या होता है. Multi-divisional में you have the CEO. Okay. CEO आ गया. वही तीन divisions हैं. Right? K, women and men. Okay. वही तीन divisions हैं, but this time they operate as separate businesses. This time इनको division नहीं बोलते ये लोग. This is a separate business altogether. Okay, this is a separate business altogether. This is a separate business. So what happens now is, this is a separate business, this is a separate business, and this is a separate business. तो ये लोग क्या करते हैं? अब क्योंकि ये सेपरेट बिजनेस बन चुके हैं, दे हैव फर्दर मोर डिविजन्स नाउ. ओके, ये अपने अपने अंदर मल्टी डिविजन्स बना, छोटे-छोटे और डिविजन्स बना देते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, अंडर किड्स वेयर व्हाट दे आर सेइंग इज एथनिक वेयर. ओके, यहाँ पे बना रहे हैं एथनिक वेयर बनाओ, यहाँ पे वेस्टर्न वेयर बनाओ और यहाँ पे फुटवेयर बनाओ। ओके, सेम एथनिक वेयर, वेस्टर्न वेयर, फुटवेयर, एथनिक वेयर, एंड यहाँ पे सिर्फ लिख दिया एथनिक वेयर एंड यहाँ पे बना दिया हमने ऑफिस वेयर। व्हाटएवर, जरूरी नहीं है सबके तीनों, किसी का दो, किसी के पांच। नाउ each of these businesses which are now separate business create their own subdivisions। okay, क्योंकि फाइनल डिसीजन इन्हीं को लेना है, अपने बिजनेस से रिलेटेड फाइनल डिसीजन दे विल टेक, राइट, एंड फाइनली दे विल गो एंड टेल इट टू द सीईओ। सिर्फ बताएंगे, अप्रूवल नहीं लेंगे, राइट। दैट इज वेयर मल्टी डिविजनल फॉर्म ऑफ बिजनेस started coming into picture in 1960s, right? Like 1920s where there were problems, but actually I'm going to link this with the next topic. So bear with me on that, right, Shiva? So what happened was, now these problems came and they figured out, how do you increase the speed of decision making? How do you increase the responsibility and autonomy? And this thing happened, okay? Now, when this multi-divisional structure kept on working for certain years, okay, कुछ सालों तक ये चलता रहा, then they figured out a new concept, right? We have studied about this concept. Look at this, the structure on the screen, and tell me, it is similar to which structure? It is similar to what? We have studied about this structure earlier very briefly. Which structure is this becoming more relevant to? Functional से divisional में आए, divisional से multi-divisional चले गए, और multi-divisional in today's time, आज के time में multi-divisional बहुत कम है, okay? Multi-divisional बहुत कम है but बहुत कम है. It has been replaced by which structure? Look at the structure and tell me. Multi-divisional has been replaced by which structure? Karthik is right, Radhika is right, Sudhanshu, no. We are not going back to divisional structure. It has become what? Well, it has transformed into another structure. And what is that structure called is what my question is. 2 right answers till now. Okay, I have more right answers. Anushka is given, Nilabja is given. Karthik, I read your answer, that's right. I'm just waiting for others. Aarti has given the right answer. No, Shiva, that is not the right answer. No, not. The correct answer is SBU. SBU structure में जाते जा रहे हैं. We have studied about this. This is now becoming like an SBU. आज के टाइम में the latest thing, this structure has transformed into SBU. This structure has transformed into SBU. Now this is SBU number 1, this is SBU number 2, this is SBU number 3, right? But SBU में एक और नई चीज है. SBU में there is another very interesting thing. There is another layer. जब SBU होते हैं, there is another layer. Okay. SBU में CFO, CEO यहाँ पे. Center में you also have the CFOs. You have the CFO. You have the यहाँ पे Chief Marketing Officer भी आ जाते हैं, right? So you will also have Chief Marketing, CMO, CFO, CHRO. ये सब भी SBUs के ऊपर आ जाते हैं before CEO, right? So a CFO is concerned with all the SBUs. A CMO is concerned with marketing of all the SBUs, right? This is how organization structure is changing. उसको और control. Now think logic से समझते हैं. When the company is expanding, okay, now company is getting into newer products, company is getting into newer markets. Corporate strategy बोल रही है diversification करते हैं. Corporate strategy comes and tells us, boss, you have to go and do diversification. We have to go for growth strategy. I have to go for conglomerate diversification. I have to go for a strategic alliance. I have to go for a mergers and acquisition, right? Which means there will be more products. There will be more people to handle. There will be more things to control. in the organization. So organizational structure को भी उतना ही smooth और quick होना पड़ेगा. To make that happen, SBU structures or multi-divisional and divisional structures come into picture because when there are a lot of products, okay. But how is a multi-divisional structure different from an SBU? Okay, how is a multi-divisional structure different from an SBU? Okay, SBU has much more control, strategic control on this आपका SBU. Okay, SBU को एकदम isolated business की तरह देखते हैं. Multi-divisional में the fine line of difference between multi-divisional and SBU is multi-divisional में the divisions like kids, women, and men wear, they are still seen as a part of the entire organization, right? They are somewhat related. Okay, the fine line of difference is divisions, even if they are different, they are somewhat related. थोड़ा बहुत relation उनके business में होता है, right? जैसे kids wear, women wear, men's wear. जब related से business होंगे, when the businesses are a little related, we actually consider them as multi-divisional. But if the business is entirely unrelated, right? We create things or businesses which are entirely unrelated. We call them, or we actually manage and control them as an SBU, which is strategic business unit, which is a separate business altogether. अभी ये kids, women और men wear की जगह अगर ये होता आपका एकदम अलग चीज है, right? If this is toothpaste, right? This is toothpaste. This is ketchup. Okay, this is toothpaste. This is ketchup, right? And this is hotel booking. This is hotel booking services. I will call them as SBUs, right? I will call them as SBUs because they are unrelated. और ये ITC सब कुछ कर रहा है. There is a company called ITC, right? ITC सब कुछ करता है. ITC का Sunfeast है. ITC का आपका टूथपेस्ट वगैरह FMCG है और ITC के hotels भी हैं, right? They are doing different businesses which are entirely different. तो उनको separate business की तरह देखना पड़ेगा. But ITC is a one single company. It's a one single group of companies. So that is why we call them SBUs. Your toothpaste SBU, your ketchup SBU, and your hotel SBU. But if they're somewhat related, थोड़ा बहुत relation है businesses में, so we majorly, or for easy control, consider them as multi-divisional structure. Simple, correct? Is Tata SBU? See, Tata is one of the most complex organizations. It is SBU also, it is multi-divisional also, it is matrix structure also, it is network structure also. Tata has the most complex organizational structure in the world, okay? Because they are in everything. Namak se leke aeroplane tak. That is what Tata does. There is Tata Salt and there is Air India. So Namak se leke aeroplane tak is what they are operating in. Everything in the middle, Tata is there. IT industry, FMCG, then electronics, telecommunication, Tata Chroma is there, Tata Starbucks is there, Strategic Alliance bhi kar rahe hain, joint venture bhi kar rahe hain, Tata Projects is there. The Parliament House in Delhi is what is being created by Tata Projects. Builder bhi hai, contractor bhi hai. Tata sab kuch karta hai. So it's a very complex. Ideally, we do use a lot of examples of Tata, but I personally feel Tata is not the right example to understand structures because they have evolved over 100 years to create अपना ही कुछ structure, right? वो किसी set definition में putting them in a set definition is really difficult. Okay, we might use their examples, but कुछ ना कुछ उसमें गड़बड़ होगी because it is very complex. Okay. The Tata Telecom did not say bye-bye Bandedi. वो corporate में चले गए. They have said bye-bye to consumer telecom. But the biggest internet lines under the ocean sea में, right? Africa से लेके India तक internet की lines Tata ने डाली है, right? So that is another thing. Multi-divisional होने के लिए business में कैसे relation होना चाहिए? Rather it could be any relation. which means कि strategy almost same है. Okay, we are studying about strategic management. कभी ये मत भूलना whenever you're writing your answers. Okay, I'll give you an exam tip right away. Do not forget while writing the answer which subject are you talking about. The subject is strategic management. Okay, every answer should have the word strategy for it. Okay, I personally feel the moment you talk about strategy in your answers, be it any question, if you talk about strategy, right, your answer becomes simple, you get clarity of thought, the examiner relates back कि ठीक है तो तुम आपको पता है आप कौन सा सब्जेक्ट पढ़ रहे हो, you know the topic. Okay, so to your question, मल्टी डिविजनल के लिए रिलेशन कैसे होना चाहिए, स्ट्रेटेजिक रिलेशन होना चाहिए, राधिका, राइट, विच मीन्स कि एक स्ट्रैटेजी सब पे लागू हो सकती है, राइट, they are related in a fashion that one strategy can be implemented in all the businesses, then there is a relation. But if one strategy cannot be implemented in all the businesses, be it same or different, then they are SBU, वो different हो जाएगा, right? So same strategy across the businesses, that means they are related. If every business needs a separate strategy, right, then they are SBU, strategic business unit. Strategy ही अलग चाहिए पूरी, right? SBU means that the different divisions of business are functioning separately, that each division is acting as a franchising. It's a separate business unit. There is no franchisee concept here, Shira. Do not confuse yourself with franchising, right? That is right, Karthi. That's a great example if you can like understand from Bollywood, right? Absolutely. Nuclear and joint family, you're getting it right. Multi-divisional is more like a joint family where the head of the family is taking care of everything, while you have different people taking care of their own families, right? While SBU is like a nuclear family, right? अपना अपना घर खुद चला रहे हैं. While there is someone at the top, your grandparents, who can be reached out or who asks you for things per se, कि कैसा चल रहा है, क्या चल रहा है, right? So that is right. Pooja, we'll come to that. Do not get into that topic. What is franchising? You learn about that as you go through syllabus or as you go through the entire course. You will get confused. I'll not touch on that topic. वरना बहुत confused हो जाओ, right? You can Google if you're curious, but I will not confuse you with that particular topic. Okay, let's keep it out of the syllabus. वरना सब mix हो जाएगा. Okay, so multi-divisional is what we studied. Okay. Implementation of multi-divisional structure. SBU भी टच कर लिया और multi-divisional भी टच कर लिया. अब फटाफट से इनकी थ्योरी देख लेते हैं. Okay. Multi-divisional structure implementation. Okay. Now, creating separate divisions, each representing a distinct business. Okay. Each division would house its own functional hierarchy. We know that. Every division will have their own functions. We know that. Division managers would be given responsibility for managing day-to-day operations. यहाँ पे ये SBU से अलग हो रहा है. The division managers are only concerned or given the responsibility of day-to-day operations, not the strategy. Not the strategy. Divisional managers are given the responsibility to only look after the day-to-day operations, not the strategy. The small corporate office, the corporate office top pay would determine the strategic directions. Strategy तो corporate से ही आएगी, CEO, CFO से ही आएगी, but जो divisional head है multi-division में, who is only responsible for day-to-day operations. While in an SBU, the SBU head is taking strategic decisions. While in an SBU, the SBU head is taking strategic decisions. This is how you will differentiate. Case study में आता है, Mr. XYZ is taking strategic decisions for his own division. आपका एकदम से दिमाग खड़ा हो जाना चाहिए कि boss, they're talking about division, but Mr. XYZ is taking strategic decisions for his division. That means वो division SBU है. इसका मतलब कि वो division SBU है, because the divisional head is taking strategic decisions. अगर strategic decisions नहीं ले रहा है division head, तो it is multi-divisional or divisional structure. It is multi-divisional or divisional structure. मल्टी-डिविजन में क्या होता है, डिवीजन के अंदर और डिविजन्स होते हैं. किड्स में एथनिक, वेस्टर्न, फुटवेयर, डिवीजन के अंदर और डिवीजन. मल्टी-डिविजनल, मल्टी-डिविजनल. डिविजनल स्ट्रक्चर में सिर्फ डिवीजन होता है, उसके नीचे फंक्शंस होते हैं. मल्टी-डिविजन में a division will have different divisions, and that division will have functions which will cut across the subdivisions, right? And the divisional head is only concerned with day-to-day operations. Jabki SBU is similar to a multi-divisional structure, but strategic decisions are taken by the SBU head, or per se the divisional head अगर strategic decisions ले रहा है तो भैया वो SBU हो जाएगा, right? एक ही चीज को मैंने 10 बार बोल दिया, so that you remember. Okay. Each SBU has its own competitors. That is right, Janesha. We have studied about SBUs. We have studied in depth about characteristics of SBUs. We will study about the structure now in the coming slides. Is Nestle a multi-divisional structure? I'll have to check, Janesha. Probably. I'm not sure how the decisions are taken for all the different divisions. अगर strategic decisions division ले रहे हैं, then it is SBU, वरना multi-division, right? Sure, Nilabjo, you like any answer that you write. Now, like there was a question, how do you understand that it is a multi-divisional or SBU, right? You just have to start your answer with by saying, depending on how the strategy is implemented or how the strategic decisions are taken, one can identify whether a particular division is defined as an SBU or not. I use the word strategic decisions. I use the word strategy in the very first line. And then I go and write down my answer, right? So be it any question, you ask me a question. Ask me a question from any of the chapters and let me tell you how to put in this word strategy or strategic decision in the answer. Okay, ask a question and I'll tell you how you can put that particular word or words in the answer. Okay. Can an SBU also have different structures like functional or simple? Particularly, yes, but ideally an SBU generally has a functional structure. Okay, SBU generally, it really depends. Okay, there is no mandate. The simplest answer to any question in organization structure is, right, a business can decide anything they want to do. A business can decide anything they want to do. Their structure should only match with their strategy. The only thing that a business has to be concerned about is that their structure should match with their strategy, right? अगर उनकी strategy है कि मुझे speed से काम करना है, तो इतने ज्यादा SBUs और divisions बना के काम नहीं चले, right? Functional structure will give them more speed, or divisional structure will give them more control. If the strategy is more control, go for a divisional SBU structure. If the strategy is speed, go for a functional structure. If the strategy is extreme speed, go for a simple structure, right? So strategy will define your structure. There is no mandatory कि यही होना चाहिए. अगर ये है तो यही होना चाहिए, नहीं. You decide. You are the business person. You are the business owner. Boss, you decide आपको क्या चाहिए. ठीक है? Cool. SBU. पढ़ लिया हमने SBU क्या चीज है. कितनी बार पढ़ाओगे, right? An SBU is a scientific grouping of related businesses. I'm unable to composite planning treatment. Okay. Strategic business unit structure is relevant to multi-product, multi-business enterprises. एक नया आपको एक डायनामिक डालता हूँ SBU के अंदर, ठीक है? Let me put a further dynamic. We studied कि भैया SBU क्या है? I understood what is an SBU. Okay, I understood what is an SBU. Let me add another dynamic into SBU. कि why is SBU so relevant in today's time? Okay. Look at this example very carefully. Okay. There is a company. Let me take an example. There is a company called CK. Okay, there is a company called CK. Okay, now CK has 8 products. Okay, CK has 8 products: 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now CK has 8 products. 8 products है CK के पास. Number 1 product is hand cream. Okay, cream है. Number 1 product है hand cream. Number 2 product है hair gel. Okay, they have hair gel. इसको मैं लिख देता हूँ. They have gel. ठीक है. Now understand this very important concept I'm giving you. हमें समझ आ गया मल्टी डिविजनल से SBU कैसे बना, बट SBU क्या होता है वो अभी आपको क्लियर हो जाएगा. दिस इज हेयर जेल. ठीक है, हेयर जेल है. नाउ आई हैव द नेक्स्ट थिंग आई हैव इज डिओड्रेंट. ओके, डिओ है मेरे पास. परफ्यूम्स है, डिओ है. नंबर 3. ठीक है. नंबर 4 आई हैव अंडरगारमेंट्स. ओके, दे ऑल्सो मेक अंडरगारमेंट्स. अंडरगारमेंट्स बनाते हैं, ये उनका नंबर 4th प्रोडक्ट है. ठीक है. नंबर 5th प्रोडक्ट उनका क्या है? ये सॉक्स बनाते हैं. ठीक है, ये सॉक्स बनाते हैं. इट इज CKS. बस ठीक है, समझ लो आप. स्पेशली आई एम राइटिंग दिस रॉन्ग स्पेलिंग. ओके. नंबर 6th प्रोडक्ट दैट दे हैव इज चॉकलेट सिरप. ओके, चॉकलेट सिरप भी बनाते हैं. चॉकलेट सिरप बनाते हैं. Number 8 product is what they make is sandwich spread. Okay, sandwich spread बनाते हैं, right? Sandwich spread बनाते हैं. और number 8 product that they have is they make jams also. ठीक है, जो ब्रेड पे आप जैम लगाते हो ना, वो जैम बनाते हैं. Okay? ये 8 products हैं CK के. These are the 8 products. Neelabjo, I've got your question. I'll come to that. Focus on this topic, very important. Okay. CK has these 8 products. Okay. Now, create SBUs of these products. How will you create strategic business units with these products? Tell me. Let us see who can answer this question. These are 8 products that CK makes. Okay. How will the SBUs be made? इसमें इस कंपनी के SBUs बनाने का काम आपको दिया गया है. You are the strategic planner of CK. CK has given you 50 lakh rupees as a consultancy fees, asking you कि please मेरे कंपनी का organization structure SBU structure बना दो. How will you create different SBUs of these products? Okay, start. Take 2 minutes and answer. Correct. Radhika, to your question, while everyone else is writing answers, I'll answer the questions that were on the screen. Can subsidiary companies also be SBU? Yes. Yes, they can be, Radhika. Depends on how the company wants to structure themselves. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. Okay. Sure, Pooja, go ahead. The question is, ABC is planning to launch a new watch series. What should it do to make it a grand success? It should do everything. I don't understand the question though. It's a very open-ended question. Add करना चाहिए उनको, right? अच्छा product निकालना चाहिए. It should be attractive. Newspaper में ad देनी चाहिए. What should it do to make it a grand success? That is a very open-ended question. How can I answer that? Suppose the question asked about logistics or supply chain management from functional level strategy. How do I use the word strategy or strategic decision in the answer? Why not? Why not? Okay. So there's a question, let's say, from supply chain management. Okay. So the question is, the supply chain management team is struggling to figure out how to reduce their cost, right? How you as the CEO will ensure that a particular, how will you ensure a better management of supply chain? Now, I could start the answer by saying, looking at the strategic decision-making flow, a corporate level works with the business level and the business level formulates strategies which are actually implemented by the functional level. So if the functional level, which is a supply chain management, which is a function which is struggling at this point in time in not figuring out a particular strategy, the business level managers should sit down with the logistics or functions team to communicate and understand the problems and then strategize around those problems to find sustainable solutions, right? Those sustainable solutions should actually be communicated to the corporate level, and a corporate level strategy of whether going into a strategic alliance or into a joint venture or figuring out a corporate strategy to solve those cost problems, right, should be identified by the strategic leaders. Answer is ready, right? All you have to do is you have to crux that entire chapter through a strategic decision making, right? Then you can also talk about implementation, execution, and control, the 3 steps. Okay, planning, implementation, and execution and control. So those steps you can also talk about in strategy. It's simple. Okay, now we have answers on how SBUs can be created. Food products, clothing SBU, eatables SBU, FMCG, creams SBU, cosmetics SBU, FMCG, right? And clothing. Skin related products, food another SBU, food division, chocolate syrup, spread, jam is equal to 1 food division, cream, hair gel and deo 1 division, undergarments and socks 1 division. Okay, cool. Perfect, right? Cosmetics, food and garments, 3 SBUs. समझ गया? Correct? You have understood the concept of strategic business unit. आप सबका आंसर ठीक है, right? The answers that you're telling are absolutely right. Division number 1, division number 2, division number 3, strategic business unit. SBU number 1, SBU number 2, SBU number 3. इसके अंदर ये 3 डिविजन्स बना सकते हैं. Now SBU has evolved from multi-divisional. Okay, SBU has evolved from multi-divisional. So SBU number 1 will have 3 divisions. SBU number 1 को बोलेंगे cosmetics SBU. Okay, now CK company will call their SBU number 1 as cosmetics SBU. And it will have 3 divisions: A, cream, B, gel, and C, deodorant, right? SBU number 2, which is clothing or garments SBU, will have 2 divisions: socks and undergarments, right? SBU number 3, which is food or FMCG, will have 3 divisions: chocolate syrup, sandwich spread, and jam, right? All these strategic business units will function as a separate strategy. अलग है ना, right? They are unrelated. आपस में unrelated है. जो अंडरगारमेंट और सॉक्स के लिए जो स्ट्रैटेजी लगेगी वो क्रीम और डिओड्रेंट के लिए नहीं लग सकती, राइट? Classic example, let us say CK company, right? I'm giving you another example with the strategy. Now think about this. How are strategies different? How do you define कि यार इस वाले strategic business unit में strategy अलग लगेगी? How will you identify कि ये strategy अलग है? Think about this. Now, undergarments and socks. I want to be a premium brand, right? CK wants to be a premium brand in this segment. इनको premium brand होना है. They want to be a premium brand here, but in cream they want to be a mass product, right? इनको प्रीमियम ब्रांड नहीं होना है. इनको इस वाली सेगमेंट में, इस स्ट्रेटेजिक बिजनेस यूनिट में दे वांट टू केटर टू द मासेस, एंड इन दिस वाला सेगमेंट दे वांट टू केटर टू द प्रीमियम कस्टमर्स. स्ट्रेटेजी अलग है, एकदम स्ट्रेटेजी अलग है. एंड इट कैन बी बिकॉज इट्स अ स्ट्रेटेजिक बिजनेस यूनिट. इट इज अ स्ट्रेटेजिक बिजनेस यूनिट. मल्टी डिविजनल में ये नहीं हो सकता, राइट? उसको स्ट्रेटेजी सबकी सेम रखनी पड़ेगी. multi-divisional, all the divisions will somewhat have the same strategy, right? Masses and you will either be the masses company or you will be a premium luxury company across divisions. But in SBU, you can have a separate strategy altogether for your products because the products are unrelated. Because the products are unrelated. इसको screenshot लेना है ले लो, इसको याद रखना है रख लो. I will save this. I will, when I upload the PPT, I will keep this as it is. Okay, cool. Strategic business unit पे थे हम. Multi-product, multi-business enterprises, right? The purpose is to provide effective strategic planning treatment to each one of its products and businesses, accurately monitor and simplify controls and problems. I was giving you the example of ITC, right? ITC has an SBU structure, right? Absolutely, your advice is good, your answer is right. Now the company will give you 50 lakh rupees for your consultancy, right? First is cost leadership, second is differentiation. Absolutely right, Puthina. That is absolutely right. The strategies are different. You got it, absolutely. Exam, you got 5 marks in the exam with that. Okay, cool. SBU structure हमको समझ आ गया है, यहाँ पे draw किया हुआ है, but my drawing I think makes much more sense given that we have taken that up with example. Okay. Each SBU is a single business or a collection of related businesses. समझ आ गया, समझ आ गया. उस example से भैया ये हमको समझ आ गया. It is either a single business or a collection of related businesses. It has its own set of competitors and own distinct strategy. These are characteristics of SBU. These are characteristics of SBU. याद रखिए इनको. It can either be a single business or a collection of related businesses. It has its own set of competitors, own distinct strategy, and it has its own CEO. It has its own head. SBU head is taking all the strategic decisions, who acts as a mini CFO. He or she is the mini CFO of the SBU, right? Okay. Nilabjo, that is English. I would leave that on you guys. I have put some tough English words for you to go and search. मैं spoon feed कर सकता हूँ, but I think that will be not the right thing to do. Otherwise, आप लोग को खुद जाके पढ़ने की आदत छूट जाएगी, right? It's a good word. You can use these words in examinations. थोड़ा सा impression पड़ता है examiner पे कि okay, this person knows good words, is actually putting effort in learning new things, right? Go and read about it. Why SBU is called scientific? Because इसमें logic लग रहा है, right? Hiril, logic लग रहा है कि कौन से business related हैं, किसकी strategy same हो सकती है. Science and art. It is not an art. It is not an art of being creative. It is based on logic. That is why we call it scientific and not artistic. Okay? We do not call a business organization structure as artistic, but a creative तरीके से आपने business structure बनाया नहीं. It has to be based on logic. So logic is always scientific, right? That is why we call it scientific. Each SBU will have its own mini CEO. The essence is, देखो top पे CEO तो होगा, which will take care of all the SBUs overall. But every SBU का head, the SBU head functions like a mini CEO for their own strategic business unit, right? क्योंकि वो एक separate business की तरह operate कर रहे हैं, so he or she becomes a mini CEO. Okay, cool. Characteristics being SBU groups are unrelated to each other. समझ में आ गया. Within each SBU, divisions are related to each other. ये भी समझ आ गया. अरे वाह, ये तो अभी पढ़ा ही है. SBUs आपस में, SBUs in comparison to each other are different, but within SBUs, the divisions are related to each other, right? Undergarments and socks, cream, deodorant, and your like what we say, like hair gel, right? The divisions are related, but the SBUs are unrelated. Individual SBUs are treated as profit centers and controlled by corporate headquarters, which means essentially सारे SBUs के top पे भी एक CEO तो होगा ही. सारे SBUs के top पे एक CEO तो होगा ही, right? उसके ऐसा नहीं हो सकता that no SBU के top बस SBUs are separate but there has to be CK. So in this example there will be the CEO of CK. CK के जो CEO है, he or she is taking care of all the SBUs as well, right? Reporting ले रहे हैं, taking care of all the SBUs, right? That is what it means. That is what it means. Grouping the business on SBU line helps the firm in strategic planning. SBU structure also facilitates the right setting for correct strategic planning, facilitates correct relative priorities and resources. That means because you have collated related businesses together, आपने cream, hair gel और अपने face wash or whatever deodorant को एक ही SBU में डाल दिया है, which means the marketing team will be focused on cosmetics, the marketing team of garments will be focused on garments. Effective use of resources होना शुरू हो जाता है. Effective use of resources होना शुरू हो जाता है because each team is looking after different products but which are related to each other, functioning as a single business unit. Okay, functioning as a single business unit. So effective use of resources, correct priorities, सब कुछ in place आ जाता है because of the SBUs. Effective use of resources starts happening once you create SBUs, right? It does not involve any personal skill as not specifically, I can say yes, it's more based on logic. It's more based on your matching of strategy with the structure, right? Yes, so composite planning treatment is basically, now think about this, okay? Neelabju has a great point there. Neelabju, chapter number 2 and 3, we talked about vision and mission, right? Tell me, the vision will be same for all the SBUs or the vision of each SBU will also be different? Vision of each SBU, classic exam question for you guys. The vision is same for all the SBUs or it is different for all the SBUs? Different visions, okay? Let us see who else. Vision is same, vision is different. Vision will be same, but the mission of each SBU will be different. So, Sonika, 100 out of 100 for your answer, right? The vision of each SBU will be the same. The mission will be different. The vision of each SBU will be same. The mission of each SBU will be different. ओवरऑल कंपनी का विजन तो सेम ही रहेगा बॉस. कंपनी तो एक ही है, उसको बस एसबीयू स्ट्रक्चर में डाला है. It is just a form of structure. The company remains the same. The company remains the same. Okay. Mission is different for each SBU. How you want to achieve that vision is different from each SBU, but the vision of each SBU remains the same, which is the vision of the overall company. Okay, which is the vision of overall company. Example, take any example. Let me take an example of HUL. Let me take the example of HUL. Okay, HUL wants to provide the best quality products easily accessible to people. HUL का vision है, I want to be accessible to every Indian. My products should be accessible, affordable by every Indian. ये HUL का vision है. Vision क्या है? Their products should be accessible to every Indian. The mission is every SBU under their company in HUL, be it cosmetics, be it FMCG, be it whatever the SBUs they have, their mission might be different how they want to achieve that. They want to achieve that through distribution channel. They want to achieve that through pricing. They want to achieve that through logistics. उनका mission उनके पास. But vision सबका same है. Vision सबका same रहता है. Mission becomes different. Okay. Super duper Simple. Okay, cool. Absolutely right, Pooja. The vision of Jio is same as vision of Reliance. Essentially, आप देखोगे तो vision तो वही है. How you want to achieve that, which is a mission, is different. Same SBU के साथ. Same SBU के साथ. Absolutely right. Shiva is absolutely right in pointing that out. That vision is made at the corporate level. तो corporate तो SBU में भी सबका common है. CEO, CFO तो सारे SBUs के common है, right? While the mission is different for each SBU because it is made at a business level. It is made more at a business level, so mission can be different, but vision remains the same. Cool. Okay. Issue of relatedness has direct implication on decisions about diversification in different ways. Okay. Now, अभी देखिए क्या है. Dealing relatedness at corporate level. What does this topic mean? Let me explain you very quickly. Okay. SBUs might be serving similar or different markets. SBUs might build on similar technologies or all provide similar sorts of products and services. Right? Other competence on which the competitive advantage of different SBUs are built have similarities. Now, what does this mean? Issue of relatedness आ सकता है SBUs में. Okay, the issue of relatedness can come and has direct implication on decisions about diversification in different ways. Which means अब जिसको मैं DO बेच रहा हूँ, उसी को मैं अंडरगारमेंट भी बेच रहा हूँ, उसी को मैं जैम भी बेच रहा हूँ. A single customer is buying all the products from all the three SBUs. Okay, a single customer might be buying the products from all three SBUs of my company, right? मुझसे DO भी खरीद रहा है. They are buying undergarments also मेरे brand के. They are buying jam and chocolate syrup also मेरे brand का. So how do I figure out कि यार मेरी market कौन सी different है? There will be issues of relatedness in SBUs because the technology might be same. They might be offering the products to a similar market. Right? हो सकता है technology same use होगी. हो सकता है the kind of process might somewhere be related. कुछ ना कुछ कहीं ना कहीं common होगा. So it leads to duplication. But वो ignore करना पड़ेगा. Okay? But you will have to ignore that because your strategy will be different. You will have to ignore the relatedness in SBUs. Now there will be points when you will figure out कि यार SBU एकदम different तो नहीं. कुछ ना कुछ तो common है दोनों में. Right? Majorly it's different, but कुछ ना कुछ तो common है. Like customers are common, or the process is common, or the technology is common. तो फिर क्या करेंगे? Ignore करेंगे. Because the strategy is different, right? Because the strategy is different. Cool. Awesome. We are done with SBU and multi-divisional. Let us quickly jump into our next topic. Which is matrix structure. बड़ा simple structure है. It is a very simple structure. ये देखिए. It is a combination. Remember the keywords. It is the combination of functional and divisional. It is a combination of functional and divisional. इसको बोलते हैं matrix structure. Okay. The combination of functional structure and divisional structure is called matrix structure. अच्छा जी, कैसे होता है? Matrix organization, it is one of the most complex, and the biggest companies in India are following this, like Wipro, TCS, Infosys, right? A lot of Tata Group companies are also following matrix organizational structure. But भैया ये होता क्या? What is matrix organization? What is matrix organizational structure? Right? Yes or no? Everything else will move along with strategy. Focus now. Let us collect our thoughts. Let us get back into study mode of what is most complex structure amongst all of those, which is matrix structure. ठीक है? look at this chart. एक बार आप देख लो, and then I'll answer with an example. वो आपको easy हो जाएगा, एकदम easy हो जाएगा आपको, right? I will take example of Wipro. ठीक है, हम Wipro का example लेंगे and then we'll study matrix structure. आपको पूरा ये chart समझ में आ जाएगा. ठीक है, do I have a drawing area? Let me see. Let me quickly see if I have a drawing area. अगर है तो वहां चलेंगे. मेरे पास ड्राइंग एरिया है क्या? ड्राइंग एरिया नहीं है, चलो कोई नहीं, we'll make somewhere एक ही ड्राइंग एरिया रख देंगे. क्या चल, क्या बना देंगे, चलेगा. आइए, ठीक है, I'll draw it somewhere. No worries, इसी के ऊपर बना देंगे. I think I'll create on this only, so easy हो जाएगा. ठीक है, I'll use some तड़कता फड़कता कलर पेंट ही यूज करेंगे. Okay, now we studied this graph on the right on your screen. Let me just quickly explain now. Let me just quickly explain matrix structure क्या होता है. Top management level, ठीक है, top management level. Okay, now what will happen? Top management means, let us say यहाँ पे बैठे हैं CEO, right? The CEO is sitting here. CEO लिखने में ही टूल खराब हो जाता है. Okay, the CEO is sitting here. Okay, now it is a combination of divisional structure and function structure. Combination है. So let us say this is Wipro. Okay, I'm giving you an example of, let us say this is Wipro. Now Wipro में क्या है? The divisions. Let us divide the divisions of Wipro. Right? Division number 1 is cloud computing. Okay, division number 1 को बोलते हैं cloud computing. Number 2 को बोलते हैं artificial intelligence बोलते हैं. ठीक है, let us take it as artificial intelligence. Number 3 लेते हैं machine learning. ठीक है, नंबर 3 को लेते हैं machine learning. नंबर 4 लेते हैं banking software. ठीक है, बैंकिंग सॉफ्टवेयर जो बना रहे हैं ये हम उसका उन्होंने एक डिवीजन बनाया. So Wipro has 4 divisions. Okay, Wipro has 4 divisions, which is cloud, AI, your machine learning, and banking software. Right? Now let us talk about functions. This is finance function. This is finance head. This is finance head of Wipro. This is marketing head of Wipro, right? And this is, let us say, R&D head of Wipro. Okay, R&D head of Wipro. यहाँ पे क्लाउड का हेड बैठा है, राइट? यहाँ पे क्लाउड के हेड बैठे हैं, यहाँ पे AI हेड, ML हेड, यहाँ पे बैंकिंग सॉफ्टवेयर हेड, यहाँ फाइनेंस हेड, मशीन. तो ऊपर बैठे हैं डिविजनल हेड्स, लेफ्ट में बैठे हैं फंक्शनल हेड्स. ओके, now the question to you. Okay, in matrix structure, the finance team of AI division will report to whom? Okay, the finance team of AI division will report to whom? Finance head and AI head both. That is right, Siddharth. That is right, Anushka. The finance team of AI will report to both. So finance head के अंडर वो लोग आ रहे हैं. Okay, finance head के अंदर यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं finance head और AI. So they will report to AI and they will also report to finance head. Right? Now this finance head is taking care of all the divisions. This marketing head is taking care of all the divisions. While, right? अभी ये समझिए, functional head is taking care of all the divisions, right? For their function, they are taking care of all the divisions. and the divisional head is taking care of all the functions within his or her division. The division head is taking care of all the functions within their division, and the division head is taking care of all the divisions touching their function. Okay? Simple hai. Every division head is taking care of all the functions within their division. The functional head or the functional manager is taking care of all the divisions in the organization. Okay? Understood? Understood. Finance head and AI head, both. That is right. Finance head and AI head, both. The functional managers are taking care of all the SBUs. The divisional managers are taking care of all the functions within the division. They are taking care of their own division. उसके अंदर सारे functions आ रहे हैं. The function head is taking care of their own function, जिसके अंदर सारे divisions आ रहे हैं. Right? If you understand it like this, it will be simple. A divisional head is taking care of his or her division, which has all the functions. A functional head is taking care of his or her function, which cuts across all the divisions. That is why it is called a matrix structure. एक matrix बन रहा है, cut हो रहा है, right? So this is being cut by this hair, this is being cut by this hair, this is being cut by this hair. It's like matrix बन रहा है. And this is how major companies, the big billion dollars of companies are actually positioned. ऐसा क्यों होता है? इससे speed बहुत slow हो जाती है, right? Now a finance team is also reporting to the functional head. They are also reporting to the business head. So speed of decision making is very slow, which is bound to happen. But control बहुत अच्छा होता है. Control बहुत अच्छा होता है. So think about this. The division head of banking software, the division head of banking software बोलेगा, boss, I want to invest $5 million this year in R&D. The banking software division head says, I want to invest $5 million in R&D this year. The R&D functional head will say, boss, nahin. My total budget is 15 million for the year, and I have to divide that equally between all the divisions, right? So 15 million को मुझे equally divide करना है सारे divisions में, which is almost 3.75 million. I cannot give you 5 million का budget. It keeps a control in the company, right? So a divisional head will have to always make decisions in support of or with the approval of functional head. Functional head will have to take decisions with the approval of the business head, right? So cross होगा. एक decision दोनों तरफ से check होगा, तभी वो decision लिया जाए. A single division will be checked from both the ends, and only then that decision will be taken. That is why it is important in big organizations, जहाँ billions and billions of dollars are at stake. So it is useful. Okay, dual control हो जाता है. Absolutely right, Anuradha. Employee cost saving है, इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं है. The employees are more here though, but the employees have opportunity बहुत अच्छी होती है. So in a company which has a matrix structure, you as an employee, if you are part of an organization which has a matrix structure, you have a lot of opportunity, right? आप division change कर सकते हो, right? You're part of finance team in cloud, then you can go to AI, you can go to ML, you can go to banking software, you can go to another department, you can go to another division. आप move कर सकते हो, right? Within the divisions also, if there are subdivisions, within the divisions also, if there are subdivisions, you can shift, you can change your role ताकि कुछ नया रहे, so that you do not get bored, right? So there are those opportunities as well, right? Will it not lead to unequal budgeting? Not necessarily. It depends on the business. Okay, let us suppose this is $100 million company. Cloud 20 million लाके देता है, AI 30 million लाके देता है, right? ML 50 million लाके देता है, और बैंकिंग सॉफ्ट ये मान लीजिए 30 नहीं करते, इसको भी बोल देते हैं 20. ठीक है, ये भी 20 करता है, एंड बैंकिंग सॉफ्टवेयर 10 मिलियन लाके देता है, और ये बोल रहे हैं कि यार मेरे को आप 50% ऑफ द बजट मुझे दे दो. बैंकिंग सॉफ्टवेयर डिवीजन सेज 50% ऑफ योर R&D बजट मुझे दे दो. सो द फंक्शनल हेड्स विल से बॉस आपका रेवेन्यू सिर्फ 10% है कंपनी का, राइट? यू कैन नॉट गेट 50% बजट, राइट? सो अनइक्वल बजटिंग नहीं होगा. द बजटिंग विल ऑलवेज बी बेस्ड ऑन एलोकेशन, maybe on profits, maybe on revenue. That is to be decided by the organization, right? We will continue. Sriram, I will continue till 9, 9, 10, and then my only idea is 2 घंटा, 2 घंटा, तो we can continuously study, right? Break फिर आपको जल्दी फ्री कर दूंगा, you can use your day. Otherwise 9:30, 9:40 तक आप छूटोगे, फिर कब 10 बज जाएंगे. It's better you leave 9, 10, 9:15 तक and you start your day, right? It can also happen that first function team report to their respective head, then that particular head report to different divisional head. That is why the decision making is slow. That happens, Adeka. That is why the decision making is slow. But isn't this against the unity of command and direction of principles of management? No. No, Prabhas. That is not against it. Unity of command is challenged here for sure, but the trade-off is with better control. Okay, the trade-off is with better control. The trade-off unity of command is with better control of the organization. Okay. Now, the matrix structure may be appropriate when the organization concludes that neither functional nor divisional form of is right for the implementation of their strategies. For example, somebody was asking example like construction, healthcare, research and defense industries. Yahan pe, it is difficult to create divisions. Yeah, it is difficult to create functions. So they go for matrix structure, right? When several variables like product, customer, technology have roughly equal strategic priorities, a matrix organization can be effective structured form. These are your two answers to your exam question. When is matrix structure most suitable? Number one, when they conclude कि ना तो functional ना तो या तो divisional is the most appropriate for implementation of the strategies. Number two, when multiple variables like product, customer, technology, geography, functional area have roughly equal priority. सब लोग सारे चीजें इक्वल है मेरे लिए, सारी चीजें मेरे लिए इक्वल है. मैं कैसे, how do I prioritize a structure? This is how you prioritize a structure. Okay. In matrix structure, employees have two superiors: AI head, finance head, right? The home department is usually functional and is reasonably permanent, right? Who will answer this? Why? Why is this? Why is this? Who will answer this statement? Opinion of conflicts between division heads and functional heads, that will always happen, Anushka. That will always happen. But isse better control hoga, right? Now think about this in your family. If your mother and father collectively take a decision, it is the chances of the decision being like good for both of them or the family is higher than either of them taking decisions individually, right? Or let us say you and your friends taking decisions collectively for the group, not for yourself, for the group. 5 लोगों का group है. If they take decisions collectively, it is better for everyone rather than you taking decision for everyone. तो लोग कहेंगे यार आप तो बड़े चौधरी दादा बन रहे हो, right? So it is better to have a collective decision, right? And companies which are making billions of dollars, they cannot just let any one single person take a decision. They will have to keep checks. They will have to keep other person in check of their decisions. So that is where it is important, okay? But the statement is on the screen. The home department is usually functional and is reasonably permanent. Why? Why? Siddharth's question is, what is home department? The answer is on the screen. Functional department is your home department. Why? And why is it permanent? Logic लगाओ, common sense लगाओ. Tell me. Home department like finance is permanent and doing only finance function. Absolutely Niraj. Projects may change, but the functional heads remain the same. Okay, great. Wipro can decide to divest AI division, but cannot dissolve finance department. That is true. That is also right. But think about this also. Your answers are absolutely right. Now, a person who is working in finance department of machine learning, okay, a person who is working in the finance department of machine learning, if they want to switch, they can switch the division or they can switch the function. A chartered accountant can go into R&D of machine learning. Can they go into marketing of machine learning? Or they can go to finance of AI, cloud, or banking software. A person who is a chartered accountant, a finance team member, will switch divisions or will they switch functions? वो function ही change कर सकता है अपना या वो division change कर सकता है. Right? A person, an individual, an employee can only change their divisions. They cannot change their function, right? Because you're expert, you have studied, you are educated for that function, and the company wants you to work in that function while your divisions can change. Your divisions can change, but your function remains permanent, right? The function remains permanent, and that is why, because it is permanent, it is called your home department. Because it is permanent, it is called your home department. Okay. Absolutely right. That is why it is called a home department. The product lines of projects are usually temporary and act as divisions, and they're differentiated on a product basis. Absolutely, like someone was saying, I think so one of you was saying that the company can decide to stop a particular division. कल से AI को बंद कर दो, AI का business हमें नहीं करना है और banking software business नहीं करना है, but they cannot dissolve a finance function or an R&D function. They will have to keep that function anyway, but they can close down on the division, right? That is what they say. Function is permanent. Absolutely, Pooja. An engineer can work in different companies, but they cannot become a doctor, right? They can change their department, they can change their division, they cannot change their function, right? Awesome. Got it. 3 reasons for complexity. आप लोग ने सब कुछ पूछ लिया मेरे से, right? Dual lines of budget authority, dual reporting channels, dual sources of rewards and punishment, shared authority है. These things make it complex, right? Shared authority, 2 managers को आपको report करना है, they will have to talk, there will not be a unity in command, ज़्यादा complexity है. Vertical and horizontal flow of authority है, higher overhead because it has more management positions, right? Function head भी इतने सारे हैं, division head भी इतने सारे हैं. The people cost, the management cost is very high. So these are some shortcomings or disadvantages of matrix structure. That is, it is complex. Shared authority, dual lines of authority or budget authority, approval, dual reporting hai, time consuming hai, more management positions. It is costlier than other structures. Right? Super simple common sense. 3 conditions. Right? Ideas need to be cross-fertilized across projects. Resources are scarce, and abilities to process information and to make decisions need to be improved. Now, where is this coming from? The matrix structure is often found in organizations or within the SBU when the following 3 conditions exist. Okay. कब matrix structure सबसे ज़्यादा useful होगा? Right? When you need ideas that need cross-fertilized. That means you need ideas which are checked by other people as well. Right? Finance head will keep a check on the division ke ideas, on the projects, on the strategies. Right? Resources are scarce. तभी तो double लोग check करेंगे, ज़्यादा खर्चा ना हो जाए. Right? So resources are scarce. That is why they are keeping a check कि यूं ही कोई भी पैसा नहीं उड़ाता है अपने बिजनेस में. So finance team or the R&D team will tell them, boss, you do not have budget. Division 2, they will keep in a check. They will keep as a check on divisions that they are not overspending. Abilities to process information and to make decisions need to be improved. When you want to improve the decision making of your company, when you want to improve the decision making and control of your organization, you will use a matrix structure, basic, right? Cross fertilized means आपस में मिलजुल के, you have to think together, right? You have to ideate together. You have to sit across table and think together as a team. That is cross fertilization, right? So 3 conditions when you would need a matrix structure: when you want to improve the control and better decisions, when their resources are scarce and you want ideas to be cross fertilized, that is to be decided as a team, to be checked by different people before taking the final decision. It is called matrix structure, and this is where 3 conditions where matrix structure is utilized. Okay. Advantages to सबको पता है. Advantages हमें पता ही है. Many channels of communication. That means more opportunities for employees. Workers can see the visible results of their work, right? Shutting down a project is accomplished relatively easily, right? एक division खत्म करना is relatively easy because functions सारी जगह काम कर रहे हैं, right? It is useful when the external environment is complex and dynamic, right? When it is complex, कोई नया division डालना है या division हटाना है, or you want to expand your business, it is easy. Matrix structure is relatively easy. अब division add करो and the same function will help you in managing that as well. The same function will be extended to a new division, right? The same function, finance or R&D or marketing or HR, will be extended to a new division. So expanding is relatively easy. Okay. Matrix implementation के अंदर Davis and Lawrence is a person who said कि यार कैसे किया जाए. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Okay. Don't go into the details. I have made it super simple for you. Right? Yellow वाले पढ़ लो बस. Yellow वाले पढ़ लो. These are the keywords. These are the keywords. Right? These are the keywords about Davis and Lawrence's matrix implementation. Matrix implementation के लिए वो बोलते हैं कि यार जब आपको एक matrix structure को implement करना है अपनी organization में, right? When you have to implement a matrix structure in your organization, there are 3 phases. First is pilots. Pilots means छोटे-छोटे divisions बना के you test. छोटे-छोटे divisions बना के you test whether the functions are actually helping or not. Whether that structure is actually working or not. If they are working, you start joining them. If they are working, you start joining them, right? And once they start, you start joining and you figure out कि हाँ ये काम कर रहा है, you make it permanent. Once you identify, right? There are 2 person. तभी तो and आया. David and Lawrence and आ गया ना. And कौन सा नाम होता है? Right, प्रभास? Have you read anyone's name as and? So you start with pilots, you then start joining those pilots and you finally make it permanent, right? छोटे-छोटे pilots, experiments, projects करते हो, then you start joining them, and when you figure out that they are working in the right way, in the right direction, you make it permanent. That is what simple logic, common sense से ये लोग बनाते हैं, बस उसको complex words में डाल देते हैं, right? The idea is simple. सबको पता है ऐसे ही करना है. We know ऐसे ही तो करते हैं और कैसे करते हैं, right? छोटे-छोटे projects, जो experiment, then you start joining those things together, उसको थोड़ा बड़ा बनाते हैं, and then if it's working in the right direction, you make it permanent, right? Common sense से बात कर रहे हैं ये लोग. इतना complex बना देंगे like words को, but the logic remains simple, right? Okay. Next one. Next structure we're going to talk about is network structure. Okay. Network structure का keyword क्या है? Outsourcing. 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 Outsourcing is the keyword for network structure. Outsourcing is the keyword for network structure. Okay, remember this. Outsourcing is the keyword for network structure. Network structure is another structure जहाँ पे the company doesn't want to be asset light. Asset light means we do not want to invest in assets, we do not want to invest in people, I do not want to have functions. मेरे को functions रखना ही नहीं है. मेरे को functions रखना ही नहीं है. Network structure is basically elimination of functions. मुझे अपने business में you can write answers in your words in examinations, but here keywords have to be there in your answer. Okay, keywords have to be there in your answer. All these PPTs I've made sure to underline or highlight the keywords. Right? Network structure पे आ चुके हैं हम लोग. Network structure is basically when you outsource your functions. It is called network structure. Network structure क्या करता है? अपने सारे functions को outsource कर देता है. कहता है मुझे अंदर रखना ही नहीं है, मैं बाहर से किसी से ही अपने functions करवा लूंगा. Finance में PwC से करवा लूंगा. Okay, I am a company. I only want to focus on product R&D. Okay, the classic example is H&M. H&M आपने अगर सुना है तो it is good. If you have not studied, Apple is also using network structure. Apple की manufacturing is done by Foxconn, marketing is done by some other company, okay, finances is done by some other company. वो लोग सिर्फ research and development and designing करते हैं, okay. If you buy an Apple product, if you ever buy an Apple product, उसके box के ऊपर लिखा होता है designed in California by Apple. It is not written manufactured by, created by, marketed by. नहीं. It is only written designed by Apple in California. बस इतना लिख के छोड़ देते हैं. Because they are only doing research and development. They are only doing designing. Manufacturing किसी और से करवा रहे हैं चाइना में. अब इंडिया आ रहे हैं. They are doing marketing from some किसी और कंपनी को contract दिया हुआ है कि आप marketing करो हमारे लिए. Manufacturing का contract किसी और को दिया हुआ है. Finances का contract XYZ company. Let's say I'm taking an example. Deloitte, PwC, EY, KPMG, Grant Thornton, GT. इन कंपनीज को उठा के कह दिया हमारा पूरा फाइनेंस, ऑडिट, इंटरनल ऑडिट, टैक्सेशन, एवरीथिंग यू टेक केयर ऑफ. वी जस्ट वांट टू फोकस ऑन R&D and designing of the products. Right? This is network structure. Functions, finance function, R&D function, marketing function, HR function, right? Or production, or your product function, right? Production is a function. Remember chapter 6. ये सब हमने eliminate कर दिया. I'm not doing it my own. I am giving contracts to some other people or companies to work for me. How does that help? It makes me light. I can change the contractors, right? Very quickly. I can take decisions. I can command them. वो मेरे contractor, I can tell them, boss, आप ऐसे करो, ऐसे करके दो मुझे. This is what I want. You can command easily. Employees को तो आपको बहुत प्यार से रखना पड़ेगा. Contractors, so you can go and demand what you want with deadlines, right? So it is easier to manage all of that, right? I have some questions. Let us see. Any questions? Any questions? I saw some questions. If I missed, please like, okay. She was telling like Wistron and Foxconn are two companies for Apple, right? Great insight, Siva. Thank you. Okay, so if no questions, I'll go ahead. Network structure is basically eliminating your functions and outsourcing those functions to other companies or individuals. Okay. Look at this. This is like a network structure. This is अपना network structure. ठीक है? क्या होता है इसमें? Network structure is simple. कि भैया core company है, उसने अपने सारे functions बाहर दे दिए, right? Core company है, for example, they have given their call center to some company in Philippines. Packaging and designing उन्होंने किसी company को दे दी जो UK में है. Assembly उन्होंने Mexico में करवा दी. Accounting is being done in USA and the product development is done in USA by some company. वो लोग सिर्फ बैठ के ये सब manage करते हैं and they market and brand. They just create a brand of their company. सारे functions are done by outside companies. It is called as network structure. Right? It is called network structure. If any conflicts with the contractor and they leave you, what will happen? You will find a new contractor. That is a challenge of this. That is a disadvantage of this structure. Every structure has a benefit and a disadvantage. The company has to decide उसके लिए क्या अच्छा है, right? Absolutely. Since functions are outsourced, the network structure facilitates focus on the core areas of the company, right? What you're good at, आप उस पे focus कर सकते हैं, right? A corporation is more like a virtual, right? It is linked constantly by changing non-hierarchical cobweb-like structure. When is it used? It is used when? It is used when? It is used when long-term external environment appears unstable. जब आपको लगता है यार environment बहुत जल्दी change होता है या होगा, आप network structure करते हो because it is easy to remove the contractors rather than removing your function. It is easy to remove the contractors rather than removing your functions. So when the external environment is relatively unstable, you prefer network structure, right? Profit distribution also increases in network structure. That is true. Many software companies generally hire other companies for projects. That is network structure. Yes, that is network structure. That is network structure. Outsourcing, right? Okay. The organization is in effect only a shell with a small headquarters acting as a broker, right? In its ultimate form, the network organization is a series of independent firms or business units linked together by a common system that designs, produces, and markets a product or service. My voice is going. Can I take a 5 minutes break, guys? Can I please take a 5 minutes break? I think I need some hot water. I will be back in 5 minutes if you guys allow. If you guys allow, I need a 5 minutes break. I was hoping I complete that, but I think my voice is going to like crack now. Can I take a 5 minutes break? You guys also take a 5 minutes break. Only if you guys allow, I'll take my 5 minutes break. Quickly tell me if I can take. No? Okay, no problem, Vanadi. Will not take that. Cool. Thank you. Thanks for letting. Thank you. I'll just wait for another few people to give me a yes. I want to take consensus from everyone, right? Cool. Thank you so much. All right. So just give me quick, like 2-3 minutes ही लेंगे, ज़्यादा नहीं लेंगे. Okay. I'll be back in maximum 5 minutes, and I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. You guys also take a break. 5 minutes में मिलते हैं आपसे, right? Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you. for allowing that time. Much needed time for me. As you keep constantly speaking, the voice starts getting under a lot of pressure. I am back, right? I'll wait for another 1 minute or so that everyone can join back. If you can hear me, please be back. And we will start with advantages of network structure. I want to complete chapter 7 today, which we will easily do. Awesome. Banadi is back. Hitesh, you're in. I want all of you who are back to give me a thumbs up. Tell me, okay to go ahead. We are back. Whatever you want to type. Just give me a heads up that you're back so that I can start. I'm good. Thank you. You didn't take a break only, Siddharth. What a dedicated student. Sure, Pravas, take another 1 minute. What are you like? You're eating some sandwich or drinking some milk? Yeah. I hope so. Awesome. You're back, Namita. Thanks, Namita. Thanks, Shiva. You're back. Good. Thank you, Radhika. I'm good. Yes. Hopefully, this is going to help me. This thing here is going to help. H2O is going to help us. Great. Good. Pooja Puthin is there. Karthik is there. Karthik stayed back. Great dedication there again. Okay, Anuradha Anushka says, Meghna says, and Nilakju, you're here. Karthik, I'm good, Karthik. Thank you. All right, Banadi, thumbs up. And let us start where we left off. We were talking about network structure. अभी फटाफट से समझते हैं कि भैया advantage क्या है, जो कि हमने पढ़ लिया, जो कि we have talked about. But let us quickly understand what are the advantages. What are the advantages of network structure? Increased flexibility and adaptability. Increased flexibility and adaptability. Flexible, right? You can take quick decisions. You can adapt to changes very quickly. So there is an increased flexibility and increased adaptability for a company which has a network structure. It allows a company to concentrate on its distinctive competencies, right? You can focus on what you're good at. All other functions are being taken care by some other companies. You can focus on what you're good at. Everything else is taken care of by the other outsourced companies, right? You will focus on what your core competency is. So a network structure helps you actualize your core competency to the fullest, right? It helps you actualize your core competency at the maximum level, right? That is the advantage. It increases flexibility and adaptability of the business. Okay, cool. The disadvantages, again, numerous potential partners can be source of trouble. Abhi itne sare contracts, right? There will be many contracts. So when you have a network structure, right? I'm good, Sriram. Thank you. When you have a network structure, you will have, like, some companies, I have read about it, I've seen some companies which have more than 50-60 contractors. Handling that group of 50-60 contractors is not easy. It is not easy, right? So you have to be very like conscious about that, the fact that the complexity will increase. Even though flexibility increases, adaptability increases, numerous potential partners can be source of trouble, right? परेशानी आपको आ सकती है to manage so many contractors, right? Thanks, Janisha. Thank you. Contracting out functions to separate suppliers, right? Keep the firm from discovering new synergies. That means company will never be able to identify whether we were good at that function or not. Okay, कभी experiment ही नहीं करोगे. So you believe that your core competency is designing. आप designing पे focus कर रहे हैं. All other functions, finance, HR, marketing, you have outsourced. Because of this, you will never be able to identify whether you were also good at finance and marketing or not. क्योंकि वो आपने outsource कर दिया. You have not experimented whether you would have been good yourself at it as well, right? So it keeps the firm away from discovering any synergies or any new combining activities that it could be good at. Okay. If a particular firm over specializes on only a few functions, it runs the risk of choosing the wrong functions and thus becoming non-competitive. Exactly this. इसका second point ये है कि probably with the changing environment, you might have to change your core competency. Correct? अभी core competency तो environment के हिसाब से हमको change करनी है. Right? Now, a business we know कि the core competency shall change with the change in the environment. Your core competency shall also change with the change in the environment. But in network structure, because you do not know what you're good at, apart from what you know you're good at, आपको लगा आप डिजाइनिंग में अच्छा, आप डिजाइनर बन के बैठ गए, बाकी सारा आपने आउटसोर्स कर दिया. But because of change in environment, it needed better financial control. The environment needed the business to do better marketing. The environment needed the business to have better HR management, more talented people. But आपने वो कभी खुद किया ही नहीं. So it becomes a challenge. When that need from the environment comes to your business, की boss, इस next 5 years में we need to be very focused on finances. But आप कह रहे हैं मैं तो डिजाइनर हूँ, मुझे तो पैसे के बारे में पता ही नहीं है, मैं क्या करूँ, right? Flop. Your business will undergo stress because you as the business who is at the center, you don't know your finance के साथ क्या करना है, right? And when you tell your contractor कि this is what I want to do, solve this problem for me, they will ask for more money. They will charge extra money because they're working extra for you. And cost reduce होने की जगह increase हो जाएगी. Right? So you will become non-competitive. You will become non-competitive in the business. Simple. Right? Is network structure like strategic alliance? More so, no, Nilanjo. Strategic alliance. आप confused क्यों हो रहे हैं? Network structure is only outsourcing the functions. Strategic alliance is getting together with a different business altogether, right? किसी और कंपनी के साथ काम करना है, वही सेम काम जो वो कंपनी करते हैं, मुझे भी वही काम करना है, right? That is strategic alliance. I'm not going to change my business. I'm going to work with that business in a new business. This is only outsourcing. This is a structure. That is a strategy. This is a structure. That is a strategy. बहुत फर्क है, right? बहुत फर्क है. यहाँ पे सिर्फ functions are being outsourced, while strategic alliance is a business level. It is a strategic decision कि Tata combining with Starbucks to come to India and sell coffee. वो network structure थोड़ी ना, strategic alliance. More examples of discovering any synergies. Probably the same example with another thing. Let's say you are a company who is expert in, let's say what, marketing. You are expert in marketing, right? And you never focused on what should be your, let's say, product. Okay? You have given the product designing to some other contractor कि आप हमारे लिए product design करो, हम marketing हमें आती है, हम बेच लेंगे, right? So what you do is you tell the product development contractor that you develop a product for me. Okay, let's say whatever, you create a lipstick for me. Okay, you tell a product company कि आप मेरे लिए product बनाओ, market में कर लूँगा, brand अपना लगा कि I'll put Nykaa on the. I'm just giving you an example. I'll put stickers of Nykaa, brand I have created for myself. I will spend on advertising. That is my call. आप बस मुझे lipstick बना के दे दो, normal सी quality की, मैं market कर दूँगा. I will sell it to people. That is not an issue. अब बस मुझे बना के दे दो. Now, the product quality starts deteriorating slowly and steadily. The contractor is not giving you a good quality product. तो आप क्या करोगे? You were dependent on that contractor for the product and you did a lot of spend on marketing. आपने 100 crores marketing IPL में add कर दी, TVs पे add, you're giving discounts, social media पे you're adding, social media influencers से आपने add करवा दी, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere your ad is running. कर दिया आपने खर्चा अपनी कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी में, but the product is of low quality. The customers buy your product and the feedback is ये क्या कचरा बेच रहे हो, right? You cannot discover any further synergy. आप अपना the main product, you have lost that business because you are not able to identify that what the product is. You are very dependent on others. The dependency on others will always be deteriorating for your business, right? It will be bad for, it will be a wrong decision for you, right? A lot of good statements. I'll just read that out. Okay. So Apple has to be careful always. They have to be very careful. The flatter organization structure that a company, what is this? We copied, pasted it from somewhere. Yeah. Can seem intrusive as a result of the demand for more intense. I didn't get the question. Anushka, is that a question? Okay. More examples of synergy, Namrata, I covered. One study that if market and growth is increasing, then we should buy the other company and outsource that function to perform exclusively for us. What's that structure? SBU or network? Once you okay, that market and growth is increasing, we should buy the other company and outsource that function. Which function? To perform exclusively for us. You buy other company, right, and outsource that function. Which function? You're buying a company and outsourcing which function? I'm not clear on the question. Buying a company and outsourcing that function. Konsa function? Which that function? Okay. Here you delegate work. More so, yes. The case in which company buys the other to outsource function to it. Achha, you buy a company and you outsource that work to that company. Okay. Is that an SBU or that is a functional structure? आपने function बना दिया ना उसको, right? That is not an SBU. SBU is majorly based. SBU is never based on functions, right, Karthik? Never confuse that SBU can be divided based on functions. It can never. SBU will be divided on product, geography, right, or process or technology. It will never be. It will or the customer. SBU will never. An SBU will never be decided based on function. तो एक फंक्शन को आपने अलग कर दिया, एक कंपनी खरीद के उससे फंक्शन करवा रहे हो, वो एसबीयू नहीं होगा. इट विल बी अ फंक्शनल स्ट्रक्चर. ओके. ब्रांड बिल्डिंग बाय शार्क्स इन द शार्क टैंक, एब्सोल्युटली दैट इज अ नेटवर्क स्ट्रक्चर कि हम ब्रांड को हम भी बना देंगे, राइट? दैट इज व्हाट नेटवर्क स्ट्रक्चर इज. Like there are so many mobile shops where they just market it while other functions are done by different person. Absolutely, right? Change the outsource. Okay, that's more simple than shutting down. Absolutely, you can change the outsource contractor rather than shutting down your company. That is why it is more flexible and adaptable. That is why it is more flexible and adaptable. When we see biscuits or deodorant packs, we see being mentioned as manufactured by X, marketed by X. That is right. Network structure means company have to take care of the goodwill and brand name. Absolutely. Can a multi-speciality hospital go for network structure? Generally, no. Because Anuradha, the problem with that will be the customer will not be satisfied. Okay. So let us suppose you go to a very big hospital like a Fortis or a Max hospital, right? And they tell you, Arey, Gupta ji ka center is affiliated with us only. They are working with us only. Go and get your test done there. Go and get your treatment done there. You will be like, boss, मैं Max में आया हूँ. I want to pay money for your facility. Why are you sending me somewhere else? Right. So network structure might be difficult in there. Right. Got it? Got it, Karthik. Cool. Ashka, वो book में line है. Probably tell me like ऐसे एकदम से book से line उठा के डालोगे मेरे लिए भी difficult है. I'm prepared for this per se. स्टडी मटेरियल की कोई भी लाइन उठा के आप डालोगे मेरे लिए बड़ा डिफिकल्ट है. आई कैन रीड एंड एक्सप्लेन दो, बट लेट मी कंप्लीट दिस एंड देन आई विल कम टू दैट. ओके. एकदम से ऑफ हो जाएगा वरना फॉर मी, बट आई विल कम टू दैट. इफ दैट इज अ स्टेटमेंट दैट इज कंफ्यूजिंग, यू विल आंसर दैट. नॉट एन इशू. द नेक्स्ट स्ट्रक्चर इज बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स Hourglass स्ट्रक्चर. बहुत जल्दी से करेंगे. बहुत छोटा सा स्ट्रक्चर है, विच मीन्स टॉप मैनेजमेंट बहुत बड़ी है. बहुत सारे लोग हैं टॉप मैनेजमेंट. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल इन टॉप मैनेजमेंट. Middle management में कम लोग हैं. The number of people in middle management is less, and the number of people at the functional level are again many. Many people at top management, many people at bottom, but less people in the middle. That is called hourglass structure. That is called hourglass structure. अच्छा भैया, ये कहाँ यूज होगा? स्टार्टअप्स में यूज होगा, राइट? स्टार्टअप्स में बहुत ज्यादा यूज होता है, राइट? The role by middle management is diminishing because of technology. Okay, one of the biggest reasons is ये वाला जो middle management का काम है, it is being taken up by technology, like reviews, automation हो रहा है बहुत ज्यादा. Automation of decision making is happening. Automation of analysis is happening. A lot of analysis, a lot of people management is done by technology now, right? A lot of people management is done by technology. A lot of decision making is done by technology. That is why middle management का काम कम होता जा रहा है. So middle management, which is middle people, that is reducing. But why is top management increasing? Because you will see a lot of people are becoming strategists, right? Once a company grows, जो middle management है उसकी जरूरत कम हो जाती है. More people are needed at strategy level. More people are needed at strategy level, right? Absolutely. This is old model watch. The hourglass is basically coming from that only, right? This is something you would have remembered. So this is like your sand wala thing that you have, correct? This is like that sand thing. This is middle. यहाँ पे sand होती है and it keeps falling down one by one and इसको फिर उल्टा कर देते हो. Same thing. This is where it's coming from. Hourglass structure. Startups में क्यों होता है ऐसा? Okay. Startups में ऐसा इसलिए होता है because let's say there are 5 founders. 5 founder है. Okay. 5 founders means 5 people on the top. सिर्फ CEO नहीं है, 5 लोग हैं टॉप पे, 5 founders हैं. They have 3 managers and they have 20 people in the bottom. Okay, 5 people at the top, 3 people in the middle. Okay, and 20 people at the bottom. So hourglass बन गया. Wide at the top, smaller in the middle, and wider at the bottom. Right. So 5 founders, 3 managers, and 20 people are working in that startup at the functional level, are actually executing work. So ये बन जाएगा hourglass structure. Right? Generally in startups, right? Contrary to traditional middle-level managers who are often specialists. Exam question. Hourglass structure, in general, all other structures, the middle managers are specialists. Okay? Middle managers are specialists. Functional manager, divisional manager, R&D manager, marketing manager. अपने बाकी स्ट्रक्चर्स में जो बिजनेस लेवल पे होते हैं लोग, फाइनेंस के लोग हैं, R&D के लोग हैं, जो फंक्शनल हेड्स हैं, दे आर स्पेशलिस्ट. फाइनेंस एक्सपर्ट, R&D एक्सपर्ट, मार्केटिंग, HR, प्रोडक्शन, लॉजिस्टिक्स, सप्लाई चेन, XYZ, राइट? दे आर द एक्सपर्ट ऑफ देयर एरिया. बट hourglass स्ट्रक्चर में, बिकॉज द मिडिल मैनेजर्स आर लेस इन नंबर, दे आर जेनरलिस्ट. मतलब सब कुछ करते हैं. दे आर जैक ऑफ ऑल. Right, they're jack of सारे काम करवाते हैं उनसे. Right, these managers will also look into finances, HR भी यही होंगे, then your marketing भी यही देखेंगे, production भी यही देखेंगे, सब कुछ ये लोग करेंगे. Right, these managers will divide the work amongst themselves and they will take care of all the functions. They are not specialists. सिर्फ finance देखेंगे, सिर्फ marketing नहीं. They will look after everything in hourglass structure. Who? The middle managers. The middle managers. We're talking about the middle managers in hourglass structure. Exam question. Remember this from exam perspective. The middle managers, right? The middle level managers in other structures are specialists, while in the hourglass structure, they are generalists and perform wide variety of cross-functional tasks. Okay. This is like a biconcave lens. What a scientist, right? Jugaadu managers, probably yes. I would say बहुत काम के managers. What if Foxconn breaches contracts? Absolutely, that is also a threat, Siddharth. In network structure, if you're going back, contractors breaching your confidentiality, breaching your secrets is also a threat, right? It's a risk. It's a risk that happens. और बहुत बारी होता भी, right? Hourglass structure के pros that are benefits and cons, that means negatives, disadvantage. Enhancing responsiveness by simplifying decision making, less promotion opportunities for lower levels, right? ये तो समझो. The disadvantage in hourglass structure is less promotion opportunity for नीचे वाले लोग. So these 20 people know कि यार promotion तो ज़्यादा मिलेगी नहीं, क्योंकि manager तो 3 ही है. हम manager बनने के लिए 20 people will fight for 3 positions, right? So that is why the promotion opportunities are less, while decision making is relatively very quick. While decision making is relatively quick, the promotion opportunities for low or the functional level is relatively less. That is a disadvantage. Okay. Final topic जो कि अगले 10 मिनट में हम खत्म कर देंगे. With that chapter खत्म हो जाएगा. बहुत simple. Okay. Let us get quickly into the final topic. We are done with structures. Organization structures खत्म हो गए. Simple structure, functional, divisional, multi-divisional, SBU, network, hourglass, right? Simple, functional, divisional, multi-divisional, SBU. Then we have matrix structure, network structure, hourglass structure, complete हो गया. Done. अब final है. ये सब organizational structure जब बनते हैं, when these organizational structures are implemented or strategies are made and implemented, it should be actually communicated. It should actually be influenced by the leaders. जो leaders हैं, जो top management है, they should be able to influence the people within the organization and the promoters and shareholders, the stakeholders of the company. They should be able to influence those people, right? कि हम जो change ला रहे हैं, what change we are bringing in the organization, what change in the organizational structure we are bringing, it matches with the strategy, right? A strategic leader is a change management who has to convince the stakeholders being shareholders, promoters, banks, the government, the employees, the creditors, the suppliers, the purchasers, the promoters, all people who are concerned with the company. All people who are concerned with your company are called stakeholders. उन सबको convince करना, influence करना that whatever change we are bringing, it is for the right benefit of the company. It is necessary and it has to be done now. That is what leadership is all about. That is what strategic leadership is all about. And this strategic leadership is of 2 types, right? One is transformational and one is transactional leadership. One is transformational leadership and one is transactional leadership. Okay. Now, if you look at Mr. Ratan Tata or Mr. Azim Premji or Mr. Narayan Murthy, they are all celebrated business leaders because of the values they institutionalize over their tenure as leaders. Okay. So what is happening? They are leaders who are able to influence people. Whatever they say or tell, people think he is a knowledgeable person. They know what is right for the company and they will be taking the right decisions, right? So that is their leadership style. Okay. Now there's a question. In this structure, managers are less in numbers but performing more than regular function. That is right, Hiral. Are we expected to remember the sayings and authors, the people he mentioned in the book, sir? Probably not. But you should know. But ऐसे रट्टा लगा के मत जाना. Under stress कि यार ये आ गया तो just try to remember as many as you can. Okay, not generally ऐसे नाम और author के books नहीं पूछते. The institute is not asking you कि रट के आओ. The institution's exam has now shifted to more of practical approach. Okay, coming back to strategic leadership, 2 kinds of strategic leaderships. Number 1, transformational. Number 2, transactional. Number 1, transformational. Number 2, transactional. भैया इसके बीच में difference क्या है? What is the difference between these 2, transformational and transactional? फटाफट से समझ लेते हैं. Transformational leadership style. Transformational नाम में क्या लिखा है? Transformational. They transform the mindset of the people. They transform the mindset of the company. They influence the people. लोगों को अपनी बात मनवा लेते हैं. They are good orators like Modi ji, right? They will influence the people through their words, through their actions, through their ideas. They will influence the people like Elon Musk, right? They will come and give you big dreams. They will tell you, this is what I want to happen. This is what I'm trying to do. And people are like, boss, just say idea. This is right. This person is very nice. This person is very intelligent. He is doing the right. She is doing the right thing, right? Now, big companies are doing like Indra Nooyi, right? She is a transformational. She brings ideas on the table, and right, people follow her, right? Biocon, Kiran Majumdar-Shaw for Biocon. She's a transformational leader. They are able to influence, transform the mindset of the people through charisma and enthusiasm. They inspire involvement in a mission. They ask people to be involved in their ideas, right? Think about Modi ji, right? What he does. He inspires people to involve. Like during COVID, Thali Bajao, right? Har Ghar Tiranga. Now, all these, they are involving people in their ideas. They're influencing people. This is transformational leadership style, right? This is transformational leadership style. They're influencing people. They're bringing their ideas and asking people to be part of their idea. That is transformational. ऐसे वो change लाते हैं. The second is transactional. Okay, transactional leadership style is very different from transformational, right? They are more concerned with designing systems and controlling the organization activity. They are result oriented, right? Transactional leaders try to build on existing culture and enhance current practices, right? It is more about persuading people to work efficiently and run operations smoothly. They are more concerned about results. They are focused on performance of people. Wo idea, influence, enthusiasm, they're not concerned with that. Transactional leaders are more concerned about मेरे को ये चाहिए. I want this result to happen, and this is how I want this to happen. Please go and show me results. Okay. There might be a leader who might tell his or her team that, boss, this is the target, you have to achieve it. This is what I want from you, right? A transactional leader will come and tell them, we as a company have to achieve that. I want this. Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? I want your help on this. Transformational. उनको influence कर रहे हैं, उनसे ideas ले रहे हैं, involving them. Transactional is more about this process is not working. We need to change the process. This is how I want this to be done. This is the result I want. Please go and achieve that result for the organization. Right? They are more result oriented, more process oriented. But transformational is more more influential. Right? Cool. It has become so practical that now you have to give sums and audit. Okay, you have to give sums and audit. It has become so practical. They transform your mindset. Mr. Baneri, you're getting transformed by me. Thank you so much. I'll probably then, I'm a transformer. Transformational leadership refers to leaders having good persuasive and influential skills. That is right, mate. Absolutely right. So the managers have 5 leadership roles for good strategy execution. Okay, whatever the leader is, be it transformational or transactional, there are 5 leadership roles for good strategy execution. Monitor execution, promote a culture of esprit de corps. That means we are a team. Esprit de corps means teamwork. Remember this. This means teamwork. This means teamwork. Okay. Esprit de corps means spirit of a corporate, spirit of an organization. Esprit de corps, this means spirit of a company. That means teamwork. They should promote a culture of teamwork, responsive to changing conditions, which is for sure. Every leader should be responsive to changes, exercising ethical leadership, and pushing corrective actions. जहां पे जरूरत है वहां पे corrective actions लेने हैं. They should always be ethical. They should be fair, right? Responsive to changing conditions, teamwork, and monitor execution. They have to achieve results at the end of the day. Be it transformational, be it transactional, the idea is to achieve results, right? Henry Ford was more of transactional, yes. Amit Shah is more of transactional, if you see from politics, right? Even if I talk about Indian leaders in companies, I think Mukesh Ambani is also transactional leader, right? He doesn't come and influence or give gyan or anything, right? Or does some big philanthropy or not influencing people. He's a transactional leader. He wants to make money from every business. He will go after it, right? So Mukesh Ambani or Adani, right? All these are transactional leaders. They want things to happen, they're doing it. While Azim Premji or Ratan Tata or Narayan Murthy, these are transformational leaders. They inspire people, they take people all along, they influence people. While Mukesh Ambani or Ambani or Adani, right, transactional leaders. Kaam dhanda sabse pehle, right? So that is what they do. Can we write teamwork? You can absolutely. Try to write Esprit Corps, thoda impression padega examiner pe. But if you don't remember, write teamwork, that is also right. You can do that. You will be awarded marks. Marks nahi kat sakte iske liye, right? Marks nahi kat sakte iske liye. Okay. Now, I will quickly tell you what effective strategic leadership. बहुत ही, I think redundant है topic, but let us talk about this. So, effective strategic leadership. Okay. Especially हो कहाँ से रहा है? Okay. Strategic intent, chapter number 1 and 2 तक पहुंच जाएंगे अपन. So strategic intent होता है जिसके बेसिस पे मिशन बनता है, right? जिसके बेसिस पे मिशन बनता है, and this strategic leader has to successfully take strategic actions, has to create strategies. They have to formulate strategies, they have to implement strategies to finally create strategic advantage. So what this means is strategic leadership का actual use, the effective strategic leadership is basically built on creating a competitive advantage. Strategy का essence ही यही है कि strategic leadership का काम ही ये है that they have to influence, they have to achieve results to do what? To create a competitive advantage of the company. To create a competitive advantage of the company is what they're working at, and this is what their task is. Right? This is what this table means. ज़्यादा याद इसको पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. Okay. Final thing is corporate culture. Corporate culture is nothing but the values, the beliefs, the business principles, traditions, the way of working, internal work environment. We all know what corporate culture is, right? आपको भी पता है, मुझे भी पता है. That management preaches and practices. That means, is it a good environment? Is it a healthy environment? Is it a competitive environment? Is it a toxic environment? Is it a hard-working company? It is a chill company. It is like well-matured company. It is employee-centric company. It is customer-centric company. What is the corporate culture? Corporate culture means the belief system, the traditions of the company, how company works. Classic example being, if a company is ready to give bribes, that means the corporate culture is unethical. If the company is totally against bribes, हमको bribe देना ही नहीं है, हमको पैसा खर्च करना, I don't want to do unethical work, right? That is a corporate culture. The corporate culture is to not do any unethical work. That is corporate culture. That is the way they operate. Okay, that is one of the biggest examples of corporate culture. If a company decides कि मुझे unethical काम नहीं करना, that is their corporate culture, right? Cool. The role of culture in strategy execution. It is important because strategy implementation, strategy execution and implementation will how strategy is implemented will depend on corporate culture. If the corporate culture is unethical, the people of the organization will use unethical ways to implement the strategy to achieve their goals, right? Company mein strategy implementation will also be unethical. If the corporate culture is unethical, people will achieve their goals, will achieve competitive advantage through unethical ways, right? So your strategy culture should be more like how you want to achieve a strategy. It will define how the strategy is implemented, and especially your culture should be supportive to your strategic goals, right? Your culture should not be toxic. ऐसा नहीं हो कि आप लोगों को 15-15 घंटे काम करवा रहे हो, and your strategic goal is to simplify things. Once you are making people work for 15-16 hours, how is your strategy about simplifying things? You're making it difficult for the people, right? So it should be a supportive culture. The corporate culture should be supportive of the strategy. It should not be against the strategy. Strategy कुछ और बोल रही है, culture कुछ और है company में. It will never match. So strategic culture is very important in the organization to achieve the strategic goal, to achieve the final vision and mission. Right? This is what this topic talks about. Basic common sense. Right? पहले जो strategy culture conflict is basically out of sync हो जाएगा. Right? More usually it means revamping the mismatched cultural features. So that is what I'm saying. You're trying to simplify things. You're trying to bring speed in the organization as a strategy. Your strategy is कि decision making मेरी company में बहुत तेज हो जाए, but you realize कि boss, people are working 15 hours in the company. That means time ही नहीं है उनके पास कुछ और करने का. So it is out of sync strategy culture. It is out of sync. You have to correct that. You have to correct that. Who corrects that? Strategic leader corrects that. Strategic leadership का role है ये. This is something that the strategic leaders have to identify. This is something that the strategic leaders have to correct. Right? That is why unethical twin tower fell off the. Absolutely. One of the examples is there. The strategy was कि बड़ा अच्छा बनाएंगे, but unethical ways से they created that twin tower. And the final was कि वो गिराना पड़ गया. Right? Loss हो गया और ज़्यादा. So that is where culture and your strategy should go hand in hand. And this is the responsibility of strategic leaders. Okay. ये चीज हमें पढ़ने की जरूरत है. Do you want me to explain entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship? Right? Entrepreneur and intrapreneur. Do you want me to explain that? क्योंकि ये हम लोग हर किसी को पता है. Right? You tell me, do you want me to explain entrepreneur and intrapreneur? Or you guys know it? Entrepreneur and intrapreneur. Cool, I knew it. So, entrepreneur, we all know. Okay? Entrepreneurship, we all know. But you want me to explain intrapreneur. Okay, we'll talk about intrapreneur. Okay? We'll talk about intrapreneur. Cool. An entrepreneur who operates within the boundaries of the organization is called an intrapreneur. Okay, an intrapreneur is nothing but an entrepreneur who operates within the boundaries of the organization. Example से समझते हैं और सब clear हो जाएगा. Okay, I'll explain entrepreneur. Very example देता हूँ. I'll not go into theory. I'll just give you example. You will understand. Now there is a company called, let's say there is a company called Flipkart. Okay, मेरा पेन जो नहीं काम कर रहा है. Okay, there is a company called, let's say, Flipkart. Now Flipkart wants to expand into hotels business. You would have read yesterday. Flipkart started hotels business as well. Okay, hotel booking भी करेंगे. Now Flipkart appoints a person, let's say Mr. A. Mr. A को Flipkart appoints Mr. A. No, let's take a female example. Okay, आजकल तो we have a lot of female entrepreneurs as well. So Flipkart appoints, let's say Miss K. Okay, Flipkart appoints Miss K to build the entire hotel booking system for Flipkart. To build a new business. Flipkart appoints Miss K to build a new business for Flipkart. She is an intrapreneur. ये एक नया business create कर रही है for the existing company. She is responsible. She is given a free hand. इनको 500 करोड़ रुपए budget दे दिया गया. They have invested. So Flipkart invested over 500 crores saying, Miss K, please build a hotels booking business for us. Flipkart wants to get into hotels booking. You are responsible. हमारे लिए पूरा hotels booking business बना दो. Right? That is what entrepreneurship. Hitesh, you are absolutely right. पता नहीं HCL से why do you have so much लगाव? Right? It's a transactional leader, yes. Okay. Now, Flipkart appointing Miss K to build a business for Flipkart is an example of entrepreneurship. Miss K is an entrepreneur. She is an entrepreneur. She is building a new business, a new idea from scratch. But for her employer. She is employee of Flipkart. She is doing that for Flipkart, right? That is why she is an intrapreneur, right? It has now become a trend that large organizations, corporates appoint entrepreneurs within the organization to bring operational excellence and gain competitive edge in the market. Companies को जब अब expand करना होता है, so they employ entrepreneurs. That is why you will see a lot of entrepreneurs, if their startup fails, even if their company fails, they become big vice presidents or presidents in big startups or big companies because they have the experience to build something new. And these big companies then employ them to start a new business because they have experience. So startup founders are always have a better chance, even if unka startup fail ho jata hai, they are employed by big companies to expand their business because they work as entrepreneurs, right? Apple is also transactional, yes. So entrepreneur ka aapka example bhi ho gaya. And with that, chapter number 7 bhi complete ho gaya. Last 2 minutes on any questions, and then we wrap up for today. Chapter 7 is also complete. Chapter 7 is also complete. Any doubts, any questions for the next 2 minutes, and then we wrap up. Waiting for any doubts, or if not, thank you so much for joining. If all doubts are clear, all your questions are clear, I'm really happy and thankful for you, all of you who are chatting, all of you who are viewing this. Really grateful and really thankful that you guys are enjoying this. I hope so, right? I'll wait for another 2 minutes for questions and doubts, if any. For those who do not have any, you can wrap up for today. We're done for today. Sure, Anushka, your doubt on that module extract, I'll go to that. Another example of entrepreneur, finally same thing. Kisi bhi company mein utha lo, same example milega, right? Few companies hire Indian companies only to export their products and sell it only in India. It is a network. They create a network, right? Thanks, Meghna. Thank you. Cool, Anushka, I'll have to figure out where your question was. Upar chala gaya hoga. The flatter organization structures that accompany contemporary structures can seem intrusive as a result of their demand for more intense and personal interaction with internal and external shareholders. Right. So what it means is the flatter organization, jitna wide hoga organization structure, right? It is more intrusive because utne zyada levels se aapko jana padega, right? The flatter organization structure that accompany contemporary structures can seem intrusive. That means a lot of levels of questions, a lot of levels of approvals are needed in such structures. And that is why it becomes more intense and personal interaction with internal and external shareholders. Jitna flat hoga, utna zyada wide hoga, utne zyada aapko logon se baat karne milenge, right? This is what this statement means. Koi aur replication nahi. Neeril, what is your question? Transformational is equal to formulation of strategies, transactional is implementation. Nahi. Neeril, you're wrong on this. Why? I'll tell you. Because both the leadership are implementation only. Both the leadership styles are implementation only. Execution पे ही काम कर रहे दोनों, but काम करने का तरीका अलग. Idea is execution only. Exactly. That is why I put this meme there. Right? बंद कर भाई बस हो गया. Our brains are blasted, right? You can say so, Nilabjo. About that leadership thing, you can say so. About last question, can a hospital outsourcing their functions of account or medicine, can it be networked? Yes, it can be networked. And rather, it can be networked. Cool. I think I don't see any more questions. All clear, all clear. With that, let's close for today. Any questions we'll take up in the next one. We'll do the last chapter on Tuesday. Thursday को case study, exam oriented chapter 8 को फटाफट से भगाएंगे. बहुत छोटा सा, बहुत repetitive chapter है. 2-2.5 घंटे में उसको खत्म कर देंगे, चलेगा. Thursday को we'll do exam questions. Thursday को we'll do final, right, revision. And that should be something that we do. So with that, thank you everyone for joining today. Pleasure to have conversations with you. I'll see you in the next one. Be present on next Tuesday, and I'll see you then. Take care.